Most youth sports programs don't fail because the people running them don't care. They fail because caring isn't a system. We've watched it happen in our county over a decade. A coach with passion, a handful of kids, a borrowed field, real commitment, real belief. And then 2 or 3 years in, it falls apart. Not because the mission was wrong, because there was nothing underneath it. We started with 40 kids in 2013. Today, we serve over 1,500 athletes across 5 sports and 3 locations in rural Northern California. This video is about what we learned between those 2 numbers. Here's what nobody tells you when you start a youth sports program. There are 2 things every program needs, and most people only build one of them. The first is soul, the reason you exist, the community you serve, the values that drive every decision. The soul is why you show up. The second is the skeleton, the systems underneath, the financial model, the communication structure, the coaching pipeline. The skeleton is what keeps you standing when things get hard. Most programs start with soul, and that's not a problem. That's how it should be. The problem is when you try to run a program on soul alone. Soul without skeleton burns people out. It creates volunteer overload. It makes every decision feel like a crisis. It means the program only survives as long as the founder can carry it. The ones that last build the skeleton. So what does a skeleton look like? 5 things. 1, a reason to exist that isn't about you. Something that names the community problem you're solving. In our case, kids in rural Northern California were aging out of sports at 12 because there was nowhere for them to go. Every decision we make still runs through that filter. 2, a communication system. Most programs skip this and wonder why parents are frustrated. You need a consistent way to communicate with families before the season, during it, and when something goes wrong. Parent trust is the foundation your program either builds on or cracks under. 3, a financial model that holds, an actual break-even number. What does it cost to run this program? What does it cost per athlete? Where does the money come from? You don't need to be a financial expert. You need to know your number and build toward it. 4, a coaching pipeline. Who coaches for you today? Who are you developing 3 years from now? The best thing we ever did was invest in former players. Felipe Chavez played for us in junior college, earned a scholarship to Kansas, came home. He now runs a boys program. Player to coach to director. That's the most sustainable staffing model that we know. 5, a pathway. What happens to a kid who starts at 8? Where do they go at 12? At 16? If you can't answer that, you're running a seasonal activity, not a program. The ones that last keep people connected for decades. Rural programs in underserved communities run resource-constrained by default. No big facilities budget, volunteers carrying the professional load, registration fees that have to stay low enough that the families who need it can actually afford it. None of that goes away. What changes is whether you have a skeleton under you when the pressure hits. The programs we've watched collapse were not lacking heart. They were lacking structure. That's why we built Grassroots First to teach. The actual framework we use from 13 years of doing it in a place where nobody is coming to help us. If you're starting a program or trying to stabilize one, here's the one thing to do first. Diagnose before you build. Does your program have soul? Does it have skeleton? Knowing which one you're missing is the first move. We put together a free guide called Why Most Youth Sports Programs Fail. Find it at grassrootsfirst.co. The PDF and the audio are included. Links in the description. No pitch, just the framework. If you're building something in a hard place, this is for you.